evening and welcome to your Wednesday, September 11, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Itel workers assured of job availability after a company announces closure of Guyana's operations. Democracy is alive, where is the autocracy, says Nandlal. Irregularities at GMC being investigated by AGRI Ministry. Controversy arises as judge remands victim for declining to give evidence. And 10-day worker arrested stripped naked after allegations she was overpaid. Now for the news in detail. Workers at Itel Guyana, who will soon be placed on the breadline after the company has announced the closure of its local operations, are being assured that other jobs are available in the country as the business process outsourcing industry remains resilient. Luana McAllister tells us more.
Itel, whose operations are located at Camp Street, Georgetown, has announced plans to shut down its Georgetown operations, a move which will impact some 400 workers. But Chief Investment Officer and Head of the Guyana Office for Investment, Dr. Peter Ramsrup, has assured there is nothing to worry about. In an interview with this newscast, the Go Invest boss said, and I quote, "This is not an issue. We have other operations who are very interested in Guyana, and we have new operators taking over the centers. Teleperformance just expanded in Guyana. Why would they be expanding in Guyana if the industry wasn't ready for it?" End quote. New call center operations also commenced earlier this year in Tushan on the east bank of Essequibo, while another operation in Enmore on the east coast of Demerara is set to be opened shortly. According to Dr. Ramsrup, incoming call center operations are continuously hiring, so he would even encourage the Itel employees to seek work at one of the other BPO operators. Dr. Ramsrup revealed, and I quote, "They are looking for another 50 people at the Tushan operations right now, and more is about to go operational. We have just opened the Tushan Center. We have over 100 people working there. We're about to open the Enmore Center, which is also going to cater for over 100 persons." End quote. The government is also investing in new call centers in Region 2, 5, and 6, and has even already begun engaging with investors interested in running these upcoming operations. Dr. Ramsrup noted that while individual companies may come and go, the sector's overall trajectory remains positive and forward-looking as the government continues to be proactive in nurturing a diverse and skilled BPO workforce. Just earlier this year, leading authority on global digital services and Nearshore Americas ranked Guyana in the top 10 BPO value destinations in Latin America and the Caribbean for 2024. The Evening News understands that Itel cited escalating expenses and difficulties in retaining qualified candidates and high-profile clients as the primary reasons for its closure. Itel, a Jamaican-based firm, had been operating in Guyana for some 4 years. Luana McAllister, The Evening News.
The local private sector is being encouraged to take advantage of the resources and opportunities available under the United States-Caribbean Partnership to address the Climate Crisis 2030 that could see them not only benefiting from financing, but also expertise and innovative technology solutions to build climate resilience. More in this Vanu Manikchand report.
PAC 2030 is the U.S. government's flagship partnership with the Caribbean to advance climate adaptation and resilience and clean energy cooperation to achieve goals of the Paris Agreement and the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. During a recent private sector roundtable discussion held in Georgetown, organized by the American Chamber of Commerce, AmCham Guyana, and the U.S. Embassy, Foreign Secretary Robert Broussard underscored the important role the Guyanese private sector must play in investing and participating in efforts to advance climate resilience initiatives.
The successful implementation of PAC 2030 would require greater public-private partnerships to yield more effective and efficient results for the benefit of all. While the private sector is already capitalizing on opportunities in the oil and gas sector, the growing energy demand urgently requires heavy investments in renewable energy to decouple economic growth from fossil fuel use. The government supports, as I pointed out, public-private partnership and is ready to partner with the private sector to implement the objective of PAC 2030. The private sector in Guyana is also encouraged to actively explore joint venture with companies and investors from the United States on projects that will deliver some of these objectives and in alignment with Guyana's low carbon development strategy. And the role of AmCham in this regard is very crucial.
Meanwhile, U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Theriot noted that with climate change posing a significant risk to agriculture, which is a cornerstone of Guyana's economy, the local private sector can benefit from the U.S. agriculture sector.
The U.S. agriculture sector leads the world in sustainable farming practices, crop resilience, and climate-smart agriculture. By forging partnerships with U.S. agribusiness and leveraging funding from PAC 2030, yes, there is funding available, Guyanese enterprises can enhance productivity and resilience. So we really are hoping that that will increase as we move forward because those resources are there. There's the expertise from the U.S. companies and the funding available through the U.S. government and elsewhere.
The roundtable discussion was held during the visit of Director of Caribbean Affairs at the U.S. Department of State, Catherine Beamer, who lauded the work Guyana has been doing to advance the region's food and climate security under the PAC 2030 initiative.
Guyana has really, thank you so much, Foreign Secretary. Guyana has, President Ali and Foreign Secretary Prasad have been sort of the most vocal advocates for this initiative. From the Caribbean, you definitely used your chairmanship of CARICOM also to make this, to give this leadership and to take this initiative really seriously. I know the U.S. government often comes with a lot of different initiatives that we're throwing at the region, and this one we're trying very hard to incorporate feedback from Caribbean partners and really prioritize the things that are most important to the Caribbean.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manak-Chand.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal has rejected claims from Dr. Bertrand Ramcharan, a former Chancellor of the University of Guyana, that the government operates in an autocratic way. Find out more in this Lawanda McAllister report.
During his weekly program on Tuesday, Issues in the News, Attorney General Anil Nandlal used the platform to respond to assertions made by Dr. Bertrand Ramcharan in a local newspaper. Dr. Ramcharan, a former counselor of the University of Guyana, argued that the government operates in an autocratic way. But Nandlal pointed out that the three branches of government, the executive, parliament, and judiciary, are all functioning democratically. He reminded that the PPP administration was democratically elected into government, and this was so declared by the highest court, the Caribbean Court of Justice.
So here you have a pronouncement that rejects Ramcharan's classification, and that's coming from the highest court in the country. So the government is democratically elected. So you have a democratically elected government in place. And once you have that, that is the lifeline of a democracy.
Speaking to the doctrine of separation of powers, Nandlal turned his attention to the functions of the parliament.
Is the parliament functioning? The answer to that must be yes. Is the parliament passing laws? We, in this parliament of this government from 2020 to now, we have passed more laws than any other country in the Caribbean. Is parliament performing its accounting function or the scrutinizing function of the accounts of the government? Certainly. Certainly. Budgets are approved by the parliament. Supplementary provisions are approved by the parliament. Votes are taken and counted in the parliament. decisions are made by vote.
He also spoke about various parliament committees, reminding that many of them are chaired by members of the opposition. Nandlal also reminded that the Public Service Commission, Police Service Commission, Teaching Service Commission, and Judicial Service Commission are all appointed through a parliamentary process where all of the parliamentarians have a say.
And the parliament, as you obviously know, comprises of the government and the opposition. So where is the autocracy?
Regarding the judiciary, the Attorney General said judges are appointed through a transparent and fair process and that the Chancellor and Chief Justice are appointed by an agreement between the president and leader of the opposition. He added that the judiciary enjoys financial independence. Nandlal also contended that the judiciary is functionally independent as he defended his and the government's right to criticize certain rulings. Nandlal also argued that the fact that Ramcharan got his assertions published in the press is evidence that democracy is alive in the country.
The fact that Mr. Ramcharan could have published that article in the Stabrook News without even an official response from the government is evidence without more that there is freedom of press at work, that this is a democracy. You think if we were an autocratic regime, he could have published that?
Lawanda McAllister, The Evening News.
Trishel Sobers joins us now to report that the Ministry of Agriculture has launched an investigation into several irregularities and discrepancies within the Guyana Marketing Corporation.
In a Facebook post, opposition-aligned activist Mark Benskop alleged that fraud is taking place at the Agriculture Ministry with regards to the sale of, quote, $150 million worth of chicken and eggs, end quote. According to Benskop, the discovery was made during a recent audit report, and fingers are allegedly being pointed to the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa and others connected to the minister's office. The ministry has since issued a public statement refuting these claims, noting that the agency and its head office are not involved in the purchase or sale of chicken and eggs. The ministry outlined that the responsibility for these matters fall under the jurisdiction of the Guyana Marketing Corporation, GMC, which is managed by General Manager Ms. Tashana Lal. Nonetheless, the ministry said in recent weeks Mustafa had ordered an audit and investigation into certain irregularities and discrepancies within the agency. According to the statement, it is important to note that this is a transparent process to ensure accountability and rectify any administrative lapses. The ministry went on to say it believes the timing of the misleading post is unfortunate, as it seems intended to distract from the ongoing investigation at GMC. In this regard, the ministry urged members of the public to not be swayed by baseless accusations and to await the outcome of the official investigations, which it assured is being conducted with the highest level of integrity. When contacted by this newscast for more information on the investigation, the GMC General Manager disconnected the phone call. Trishel Sobers, Evening News.
Coming up, government aims to distribute 40,000 house lots by year-end, says Kroll, and former Norwegian minister praises Guyana's visionary use of climate funds for its management. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Wayne Pressure Pumps out of the U.S. is the ideal solution for your water woes. At Sylvie's Variety Store, we bring you the top line of automatic pressure tank pumps ideal for building offices and residential homes. Just turn on the faucet and pressure at your fingertips. The Wayne collection includes pool pumps, well pumps, and utility submersible pumps. Parts and accessories available. Sylvie's Variety Store, bringing you the quality you deserve every time.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier insurance coverage.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. Controversy arose this morning when Justice Peter Hugh remanded a virtual complainant to prison for declining to give evidence in a matter of assault. The case in question stemmed from an incident on November 1, 2013 at Graham's Hall, East Coast, Demerara, where it is alleged that Compton Charles was maliciously wounded. Charles had alleged that he was struck down by a car driven by the accused, after which he was kicked and verbally abused by the accused. Charles had further alleged that the accused picked up a piece of wood and began lashing him, resulting in hand and finger being broken. The victim said he had lost consciousness and had awoken at the Georgetown Public Hospital some days later. When the matter was called before Justice Hugh at the commencement of the trial at around 11 hours 30 today, the virtual complainant declined to give evidence, but was cautioned by the judge that he could be imprisoned for so doing. Nevertheless, the virtual complainant held his grounds and was therefore remanded to the Lusignan prison. But after about an hour, Justice Hugh reversed his decision and the victim was allowed to leave. The prosecution is led by State Counsel Delon Fraser in association with Mikkel Puran. The case continues tomorrow. We now tell you that a government part-time worker was on Monday arrested and stripped naked after the payee for the 10-day part-time workers at the 5263 NDC office claimed that the woman was overpaid. Andrew Carmichael has that story.
Drupwati Dina Ryan called Kavita of number 56 Village Quarantine in Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, says she only worked 5 days for the month instead of 10, and on Monday when she went to collect her salary, she was given $20,000. However, a few hours later she was told that there was a problem with payment and she should return to the office with the money she collected. Dina Ryan says she told the caller that she had already spent some $9,000. She was allegedly instructed to collect back the money and return it to the office, which she did.
I worked 5 days, they pay me $20,000, and an hour later then call back and said that they pay me $40,000, that I return back the $20,000, which I did not get extra money from them.
The woman was subsequently arrested and humiliated at the number 51 police station.
I feel very bad about it because it's hurtful. They stripped me naked whilst nobody was there, like for me, the family member or whatever. And I have big children, I have grandchildren. I feel embarrassing. And I come out from a respectful family and a respectful community. I feel very bad about it. So I don't know, people doing worse than this, and this doesn't happen to anybody.
She says she was made to lodge the money she had collected as her salary at the station. Additionally, she was placed on $30,000 bail after spending several hours at the police station. Police sources have indicated to this newscast that the matter is under active investigation. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
With over 34,000 house lots distributed so far within the PPP administration's first term in office, the Ministry of Housing and Water is aiming to raise that figure to 40,000 by year-end. This is according to Subject Minister Colin Crowell during an interview with the Evening News' Trishelle Sobers.
From 2020 to date, over 36,000 house lots have been distributed. Areas with the highest land allocation includes Wales Phase 2 housing development in Region 3, which benefited from over 2,300 lots this year, and Nonpareil and Laban Intention Phases 3 and 4 along the east coast of the Demerara that got roughly 1,000 lots. Overall, the People's Progressive Party civic government has allocated 6,300 lots in 2024. In an exclusive interview with the Evening News, Housing and Water Minister Colin Crowell disclosed that his ministry is working assiduously to ensure that this number increases to 40,000 by the end of 2024. These lots, he said, are being distributed to persons who applied for land prior to 2019.
We're hoping to do at least 10,000 this year, and which will mean that before the year is finished, we want to close off with a 40,000 allocation by for 4.5 year period, or close to 4.5 year period. As a government, we are happy that there are a number of things that we're satisfying. When we help with home ownership, is also about ensuring that people are able to have a better quality of life. The environment in which they live, the environment for which their children will be able to grow and to be able to occupy and to reside. So we've been pushing communities in terms of wholesome so that you have a lifestyle for people that are growing at the same time as our country is improving.
According to the Housing and Water Ministry's half-year report, which was recently published, more than 45.5% of the 6,300 house lots that were allocated were low-income earners. Meanwhile, moderate income earners received 29.7% of the distributed house lots, 11.4% went to middle-income earners, and 11.3% to young professionals. Crowell explained that when government took office in 2020, there were some 70,000 applications in the system. However, he noted that the administration has done a good job in clearing the backlog.
It's a lot of investment. In fact, we said over $240 billion since we've gotten into office. So when you take that into consideration, it's a lot of investment and work that has happened. So the work here too has increased tremendously. We do ask for persons of patience because, as I said at an activity last Friday, it's not just about allocating. When the staff finish allocating, they have to do a number of other things because we have to work towards ensuring to be able to sign their agreements of sales, to be able to sign the process their title, and to ensure that they have ownership. Ownership is equally important.
Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Erik Solheim, the former Norwegian Minister of the Environment who, on behalf of his country, signed the Norway Agreement with Guyana way back in 2009, has returned for a visit during which he praised the country's visionary use of the funds it received from that agreement. Here are the details from Gerald Bryan.
On Wednesday, former Norwegian Environmental Minister Erik Solheim, who is presently on a visit to Guyana, was given a tour of communities in Regions 8 and 9. During his visit to the village of Anai in Region 9, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo, Solheim reflected on the last time he was in Guyana 15 years ago to sign the Guyana-Norway Agreement. That agreement would lead to the disbursement of over $200 million, and according to Solheim, based on how much things have changed, that money was well spent. He also praised the government's management of the forests, noting that Guyana is a success story in forest preservation.
15 years ago, I was honored to sign an agreement between Norway and Guyana with then President Barra Jagdeo right here in the interior of Guyana. And now I'm so glad to be back to see how well the money has been spent and how much development there is. Because if people shall not encroach upon the forest, of course there must be livelihoods. And the money has been used to make community centers where people can come together, discuss and maybe have some fun, dance, sing. that's been used to make ICT centers where people can communicate with Georgetown and the students can go on the internet and understand the entire world. Cow farms have been established, there is water management, and there is a lot of ecotourism, bringing in people who can bring some money and some jobs to this part of Guyana. So this is a shining success story which the rest of the world can learn from.
Meanwhile, the residents themselves also spoke of some of the ways they have been spending not only money from the LCDS but also revenue from the sale of carbon credits. Anita Shaw, Michael Williams explained the various uses the villages made of the carbon credit funds.
With the first tranche, sorry that the bus is not here, but if you watch at the back, so that bus, that is the first thing that we bought with the carbon credit funds. And when we bought it, we said we are not going to bring that bus empty. Because under the food security, we were thinking about fishermen and employment for people. So what we did now, we bought 2 outboard engines. Because we were thinking about fishermen, 1 for fishermen and 1 for tourism purpose. So we bought 2 outboard engines, and then we had to buy 2 boats as well. And then we were talking about farming, so we bought a chainsaw and a mill. Right, and we know we were going to tourism, and we needed energy, so we bought a generator as well.
And another resident explained varying plans they have for using money from the carbon credits to enhance the lives of residents in her community.
Our population is 820.
And you collect another 24 million
and
this year.
2024, we also received the same $24 million. With the 2023 funds, we'll be able to purchase a generator to the sports ground, which we have footballs and other activities in the night. We even host the inter-branch athletic sports in the night because of the weather conditions. The kids cannot run in the hot sun. So with the generator and the floodlights, they'll be able to run in the night. Yes, we also purchased a minibus. Yes, that is to take the school children, the secondary children, to school, which is about 3.5 miles away from here.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
Following concerns from residents of Aranaputa, Region 9 about projects in their community only benefiting a few, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel has ordered that the villagers themselves decide how the budgetary allocation is utilized. Kelroy Williams tells us more.
Public Works Minister Juan Edgel recently conducted a community outreach with residents from Aranaputa in Region 9. One of the major concerns raised by residents is that their input on developmental projects is being ignored.
Several meetings and so villagers had not much say as to where we must have these roads. I came to 2 of the meetings where we said we want the road to go here, we want the road to go there. The overseer takes things upon his own self and do things. We villagers are here and they will tell you this. We spoke, we talked that yes, the engineer was here, they went and they see the road. I don't know if they took you to that mountain corner south, where is like about 2 km of road was done, nobody lives there. Now you put a road to go there and nobody lives there.
In response, Minister Edgel has ordered that the residents' input be taken seriously. This, he said, must be reflected in how the village's $160 million budgetary allocation is spent.
When they come back in to ensure that the contractor is working and carrying out the instructions as stated in his contractual obligations, I want the chairman or councillors and residents to sit with Mr. Walcott and Mr. Raphael and determine where you want the $160 million for this year to be spent.
Meanwhile, Minister Edgell also addressed concerns about an incomplete road project that received $150 million in the 2023 budget. He assured the residents that immediate steps will be taken to expedite the project's completion to meet the community's expectations. Kelroy Williams, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
There will be no retraction of the Demerara Harbour Bridge on Thursday, September 12, 2024. Meanwhile, the Barbary Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 10:45 on Thursday, September 12, 2024, for a period of 1.5 hours.
ExxonMobil Future Warriors, champion of champions, on this Saturday, and Pollard steers Night Riders to victory in Kings' backyard. These and more stories coming up in this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Hi, my name is Stephen Odip from MV Construction. I'm a rice farmer. I'd like to show you guys my Case 110. I own this tractor for 6 years, and the production, the fuel consumption, and the efficiency this tractor gave off is excellent. I would like to recommend this tractor to all rice farmers because for the application we're doing right now, it's excellent. The 110 horsepower tractor is excellent in the field condition we're doing right now, and the fuel is amazing. So I'd like to recommend this to all rice farmers that are in the rice industry. For the 6 years I own this tractor, the support from MacCorp has been excellent. I had day-to-day support, a lot of physical interactions, people from the company coming down here and inspecting our fields, our applications, and our equipment, and all their stuff are up to date. So I really appreciate MacCorp and the service they provided. Thank you.
MacCorp, let's do the work.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Did you know that Gassie's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Guyana's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.